Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what is going on? My name is M1K3 and welcome back to yet another daily upload. Today we are talking about 7 things that professionals do that non-professionals don't do. But before we get into that, around 39% of you guys watching are not subscribed. So if you do end up enjoying today's video, consider subscribing. Now, let's get into today's episode. First and foremost, I want to talk about a factor behind succeeding that is so massive that I have to put it first in today's video. And that is thinking about the game all the time. Alright, hear me out. I know this might sound crazy, but if you always think about the game and how you can improve, you will become better faster than someone who only thinks about the game when they actually play it. And this is a massive difference between professionals and non-professional players. Professional players think about how they could have played that one endgame differently when they go to bed at night. They think about how they can win all their off-spawn fights when they sit at a dinner table. And when they're at school, they think about how they can become a better mechanical player. Non-professionals, on the other side, only think about the game when they play it. When they log off and go to bed, they simply stop thinking about improvement in Fortnite. I know, it sounds obsessive, but I've had many conversations with pro players who think like this, and it is undoubtedly beneficial for improvement. So if you want to improve, try thinking more about how you can become a better player, even when you're not even playing. The second thing professional players do is hold themselves accountable for the mistakes they make, especially when they practice. Non-professional players often blame everything else rather than themselves for the mistakes they make. If they have bad aim one day, it's because their mousepad feels weird, or because their mouse must be broken. If they have bad mechanics, it must be because someone is downloading something on their internet, and they have worse ping. If they die in a fight, that player they fought is the luckiest player in the world. Pro players know that making up dumb excuses is no way to become better. There's literally no benefit of blaming anything else but yourself when you are practicing. And this is something pro players do better than everyone who isn't at a professional level. Moving on, professional players focus on winning, not doing what's fun. This one might sound a bit like odd and weird, but it's the truth. Professional players do what gives them the best chance of winning, not what they find the most fun. Here, I'll give you an example. During the World Cup qualifiers, a 24-year-old player by the name Sam qualified through to the finals in New York by simply just abusing the meta and sitting in a bowler for 90% of the game. He probably didn't think sitting in a bowler for 20 minutes was a ton of fun, but it secured him a spot in New York, where he actually placed second and won $1.8 million. The essence here is to take the opportunities you have to be an advantage player in Fortnite, even if it isn't as fun as going around W-keying everyone. If you want to become a great player, you gotta abuse the meta and always be ready to learn new ways to win. The fourth thing professionals do is reinvest in themselves. And this is often something that makes your growth as a competitive player exponential. Listen, I'm not saying you should go out of your way to just spend a lot of money on new equipment. But if you make some money in a tournament and you need a new keyboard, CPU, or new RAM, buying one of these things will give you a better chance of placing even better in the coming tournaments. Professionals have confidence, and the money invested is expected to come back in future tournaments, as you'll be able to play on higher FPS in endgame, have a faster keyboard, or faster RAM. Investing in yourself is the best investment you'll make. So keep that in mind when you make money in tournaments. And I just want to say, this is by no means financial advice, just something I really needed to say in this video. Next up, professionals understand the importance of practicing all the minor details in their game and how it adds up to give them the advantage over most other players. And now you guys might be asking, minor details, Marin? What are you talking about? Professionals understand that if you just focus on doing everything a bit better than everyone else, you will eventually end up generally becoming much better than everyone else. So for example, professionals have drop maps to drop a little bit better than everyone else. They have a pre-planned loot route to loot a bit better than everyone else. They rotate a bit before everyone else. They practice their aim 45 minutes every day to get a bit better aim than everyone else. They play mechanics courses to get slightly more consistent mechanics than everyone else, and so on. All of these small things that you can add into your daily routine really adds up to give you an insane advantage over everyone else playing the game. And this is something top tier players have understood. Moving on to the second to last thing professional players understand that non-professionals don't seem to understand, we have understanding the risk to reward ratio in competitive play. So for a lot of players that want to do well in competitive, it's easy to play safe. Very safe. A little too safe? Yes, a lot of players with incredible potential often unfortunately do not take the necessary risks to do amazing in tournaments. In order to do well, or even win a tournament, you have to take some of the necessary risks, because placing within the top 50 requires risk. Placing within the top 1000 doesn't. And that's why a lot of players find themselves being top 1000 players. And they never get out of that skill level, simply because they don't take the risks required to win games. Instead, they consistently get those 3rd, 4th, and 5th placements. But if you are a top 1000 player that always seem to get 553rd place, 782nd place, and so on, start taking more risks. And I'm not saying W key more people, but start going for height when you see that it's free. Go for that refresh in endgame that can win you the game. And all of a sudden, you'll be qualified to the solo cash cup round 2. Trust me on this one. The 7th and final thing professionals do is to learn from those who consistently place highly on the leaderboards. A professional player will always try and learn from those who do better than themselves in a given tournament. See what those players do differently and try to understand how he can implement the needed skills to get the placement he wants. It doesn't matter if it's a new name within the competitive scene or a super established name. The pro player will look at the reason behind another player's success and draw inspiration from it and adapt it into his own gameplay. Guys, that is going to be a wrap for daily upload number 22. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, consider subscribing and liking the video. My name is M1K3 Editz. Stay safe and take care.